All right, folks, we are live. If you're tuning in on the replay, thank you so much for being here. It's always much appreciated. I know not everybody can make these sessions live. So if you're tuning in the replay, thanks for being here. And as always, drop us a little comment and say hello with the hashtag replay so I know where you're tuning in from. Also, let me know where you are watching this from. I'm just going to do my usual check to make sure that I can hear and see myself okay, which I can. Now, folks, you might realize or see that I've got a slightly different setup today, and that's because I did this. Don't know if you'll be. Oh, I'm pointing to the wrong camera. I did this. I knocked into my HDMI cable, which connects to my camera, and completely knackered it. So I don't have access to my DSLR camera, so I'm having to use the MacBook camera today. But that's not going to make any difference to the audio, of course. I can see Gary is tuning in from Shetland, which is awesome. That is where I am originally from, a tiny group of islands up in the furthest northern part of the UK that you can go. So that's very cool that we have somebody listening from there today. Folks, I'm super excited about this. I keep looking at this camera. I'm going to move this camera. I need to look here today. I'm super excited about this because, this person that I've got on the show is somebody that's going to bring in a ton of energy. You're going to want to stick around for this because I just know that it's going to be hugely, hugely valuable. So because I'm excited, I am just going to get started with the intro, guys. Get my sheets ready, and I'm going to hit record. Hey, you are listening to the Funnels and Growth Show. My name is Gabriel, and I've discovered a little bit of a problem. You see, too many entrepreneurs are great at what they do, but they never see true growth. All too often, they rely on luck, hustle, and hope to grow, which, as you probably know, isn't the best marketing strategy. So in this show, I aim to uncover the secrets around creating a marketing system that allows you to build your audience, generate more leads, and acquire customers at a profit. Now, on today's show, we have an amazing person. This is someone that I've been friends with on Facebook and on the online world for some time now, probably around 6-7 months. And literally ever since we became friends on Facebook, I could not see her. Like, she has literally been everywhere in my life, in my dreams, on my Facebook profile, everywhere. She just turns up absolutely everywhere. And because of that, I had to get her on the show. Because if someone knows how to do that, if someone knows how to become omnipresent, then they are worth listening to. And you're going to get a huge amount from this. She's the email copy and monetization expert, the creator of the Email Marketing Academy, Profit Finder, and the upcoming Practically Passive Income course and coaching program. She's been featured on summits alongside Russell Brunson, John Lee Dumas, Jim Edwards, Perry Marshall, Elena Cardone, Alex Sharpton, Catherine Jones, and Blake Newbar. Some amazing names there. She helps successful but overwhelmed online entrepreneurs take back their time and their lives by helping them build practically passive income machines with back-end email marketing systems that convert. So, like I always say, folks, if you are listening to this whilst you're driving your car, or perhaps you are, making a cup of tea, wherever you're listening to this, I want you to go absolutely mental as we welcome to the show Alex S. Elliot!
That was such an intro. Thank you so much. This is so exciting. And I have to first just apologize for the mayhem behind me. It is not usually as chaotic as it is. We are in the midst of a transatlantic move. We are leaving the United States and headed over to sunny Spain. So forgive all the craziness. I usually have a screen, all kinds of fun stuff, but it's getting sold. Just everything right out from under me. So here we are. We're rolling with it.
Well, the great thing about that, Alex, is only the people that are watching this live are going to see it. All the people that are listening are just going to hear your voice.
So good. So good. I love it. All right. Well, you live guys get a treat of seeing the chaos in my office right now.
And I'm just going to say that as a quick little promo then. For those of you that are listening and you want to see the mess, I'm sorry about this, Alex, but come over to the Facebook page, LinkedIn page, and you'll get to see. It's not
the chaos, right? the stacks of books everywhere. Sold the books shelf, so of course there's books. I'm a book hoarder, so here we are.
Yeah, I feel you with that. Well, yeah. Alex, I want to get straight into this. I want to ask you. There's a rumor that you always wear pajama pants when you go live.
You're so good. You're so good. All right. So today, I love that you know this rumor. This is very funny. This means you've watched some other interview. Yeah. So the rumor is totally true. I either always wear pajama pants or I always wear, it's either yoga pants or pajama pants. And today is no different. It's my little weird, like, I'm claiming something for myself in the moment, right? So like if I have to go public, I'm just going to be, business on the top and kind of like chill on the bottom. So as you guys can see, my yoga pants, I don't know if I can get my leg up that high, but
Nice.
I'm wearing my yoga pants today. The pajama pants are in the wash. So, we're doing yoga pants. Absolutely.
Quite right. I'm definitely, I've actually, I've worked from home now for, well, pretty much my whole adult life.
Amazing.
But during lockdown, I've kind of started to develop a tier system, I'd say, with my
I love it.
In the UK, pants are like underwear, but so when I say pants, I mean like the American version or the US
American version of pants. Right.
Exactly. So I've got like my posh pants for going out to the shop at lunchtime or going for a walk, and I've got my like nobody can see these pants.
Right. My like I'm chilling at home and I have no calls today pants. Right. Exactly. I think everybody has those pants. Yep.
I'm wearing the posh ones now. I'm wearing the posh ones.
Nice. Got dressed up. Thanks.
Amazing, Alex. So you are the queen of email copy, but I would actually go further than that. I feel like from an outsider perspective, looking in at what you do and seeing your work, I would say you're an expert at copy in general. Like
I just love copy. Yeah. Thank you.
Everything you post is just gold and something that I find really interesting and I kind of want to dive into in this is everything you post seems to get an enormous amount of engagement, which is awesome. And I'm judging this mostly on your Facebook profile because that's where we're friends and that's where the algorithm likes to show me your face.
Right. Why I end up in your dreams.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what I want to know is because on this show we cover a lot of the advertising topics and we go deep into the paid side of things, but I want to know some of like the organic secrets because the reality is, organic advertising, if you can get the traction organically, then you are laughing because, of course, you don't have to pay for it.
You don't have to pay for it. It's free customer acquisition. Absolutely. It's great. Yeah.
Exactly. So where does somebody, so of course we talk a lot about advertising and things on this show. Where does somebody that is just starting from an organic perspective? Actually, I want to give a little bit of a context to this. So my story / journey into this world is I grew up in a very much content marketing sphere. And that was all about create content, organic content, no paid ads. And I was doing this, I was building an audience, but I wasn't generating the leads, I wasn't getting the sales. Then I found the funnel direct response world, and I was like, very cool if you combine those things. And yes, then it starts to work really nicely. So for the people that are listening that are very much direct response, paying for leads, etc., where do they start when it comes to an organic strategy? Like, do they just start writing posts? Do they have to plan it out? Where would you start?
So if you think about it, in essence, direct response copy works whether it's paid or whether it's organic. So in essence, you made a good point. You said, you were in the content marketing world, but not getting traction. There's a reason for that. And I'm not bashing content marketing. I'll just put that out there, but nobody needs more content these days. We are inundated with content. It's a dime a dozen. It's not really anything. What people are looking for, they're looking for an experience. They're looking for a transformation. So I find that direct response copy, when done right in the organic format and when combined, certainly with a little bit of content, goes a really long way. So I found this sort of magic combination of distillation of lessons, right? And then using some direct response copy sort of tricks to pull people in, to engage them, to draw them forth, get them to act, get them to sign up, get them to join a group, get them to watch a webinar, whatever the objective may be. So I think it's actually a nice marriage of the two, and it's doing it in a less formal way than an ad. It's not. I think it's not as straightforward as an ad. It's very much sequential. So it's not like one piece of content is carrying all of the weight as it does in an advertisement. Whereas I think that you can run, so we do something we call a stealth launch sequence, and it's something we do over 2 weeks. And it's literally 14 pieces of content that build on each other, that by the time, cart opens and call to action happens, there's so much tension built in the readers that they're losing their minds, and it's just easy, right? It just becomes easy because you've built the narrative, you've built the tension, you've pulled them along, you've knocked over all their limiting beliefs, you've created, you've established authority, you've created a relationship, you've done all the things right, and then boom, it just becomes very easy. So there's ways to do this that mirror almost like a launch sequence in email, right? Or an initial ad and retargeting ads, right? So you can take some of those formats and leverage them inside of organic.
Okay, I really like this, and the reason I really like this is because now that you have actually actively told me, I'm like, Alex does that. That's
She does.
Yeah, but you know what I think you do really well is when you're doing these types of posts, it's not just a post of like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Running a webinar Friday, come join it on Tuesday. Guys, I'm running a webinar in 4 days, come join it Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running a webinar today, come join it. Like, it doesn't feel like you're just constantly promoting the same thing.
Yeah.
So how are you doing that? Are you trying to find different stories in which you can then relay into the webinar, or do you have a specific framework or methodology that you use?
So I think the best example of this would be a recent JV launch that I did with Michael Devlin, where we had it was a much longer promo period than is typical, and significantly longer. And there's some reasons for that. There were some scheduling issues. We were actually gonna have the event within 4 weeks, but it turned out to be within 6 weeks. So we had to sustain the pressure. We had to just like keep up. And when I say we, that was me. So I had to sustain the pressure. I had to sustain the storytelling, and that really turned into a lot of like, how many angles can I find? So it was very much looking for angles, coming at the entire thing from several different angles. The product that we were promoting had different, there were different features, different benefits, et cetera. And it was literally like I had to sketch this all out over, initially a 4-week period and then a 6-week period, telling all the stories of all the different benefits to all the different interested parties, et cetera, and just building this unbelievable amount of curiosity and intrigue and mystery and pressure, sales pressure, really just building sales pressure. And so it was a lot of storytelling, and it was a lot of, hook story offer kind of thing. Hook story offer. If you go back to look at those posts, it's very formulaic. Hook story offer. But we did follow what I call the stealth launch sequence, which I've got to give credit where credit is due. I learned this from Sarah Tempty, incredible copywriter. And so, we did a lot of the agitating the pain, talking about the problem as they see it versus the problem as we, the experts, know it to be, kind of thing. Talking about the stakes and the consequences of inaction, talking about the solution, talking about, knocking over limiting beliefs. It's the perfect webinar, basically, in a series of posts. It's all it is. And it's story-based, and there's a narrative to it. So, and you can execute that very, very successfully. I mean, I've, over the past 18 months done close to, we're not there yet, but almost $1 million organically with no paid ads, just with this formula. So it works.
That's amazing. It's like we can reach those levels of organic success. It's like, what happens when you turn on the ads? That's it's
an awesome moment. Yeah.
It's one of those things we always say is that there's no point in running Facebook ads if you don't have something nailed organically. Like if you have no proof of concept organically,
that's it. And why not, get proof of concept? Why not validate organically? I mean, it's free. It's literally, you're just dropping hooks. Which hook works? That's it. Just drop hooks until a hook really hooks. Cool. Okay. Then let's start focusing on the stories. Like which stories are really, really working and what are people resonating with? And can I carry a storyline throughout? Okay, cool. That story works. Awesome. I've got my hook. I've got my story. Now like play with the offers until you're finding some offer angle where people are like really responding. Cool. Now you've literally just for free tested your hooks, your stories, your offer. You didn't spend any money. And your people gave you that feedback. They told you what they wanted or told you what they were responding to, or the algorithm did. And now you've got some pretty cool winning formulas that you can go out and literally, I've seen people I know take their organic posts from their personal profiles, turn them into ads because they know that they win. It's a winning formula, right?
There's so much I want to dive into this. What about the people that don't really have an audience already? So they don't have an audience. So they've got their Facebook page or their personal. Well, in fact, actually, let's for those that are listening, are we talking specifically here about your personal profile or your page or mixture?
Yeah, I don't use my page at all. It's relatively, in terms of organic marketing, relatively useless. And I'll dive into what that means because that could sound like sacrilege to some people. What it means is business pages are phenomenal, or brand pages, whatever you want to call them. They're phenomenal for a few things. They're really great. I mean, if you want to run a chat bot, you can't do it without it. If you would like to run advertisements, you can't do it without it. If you would like to have, the pat your back social validation of thousands of people who've liked your page, cool. You need a page for that. If you would like to collect reviews, right, and have like nice little 5-star reviews for your business, your brand, or your consulting, or whatever it is, you can do that on a page. If you would like more enhanced video analytics for how long people watch your videos and engage with them and that sort of things, again, that's something you'll get on a business page. What you will not get on a business page is organic reach, unless you are one of two things. Unless you have a mega audience, number one. And the reason I say that is because organic reach of business pages has plummeted to about 0.06% right now. So that being the case, consider the size of audience you would need to actually make 0.06% mean anything, right? It's sub 1%. So it's not going to mean much unless you have a mega audience, or you'll get actual organic, distribution of posts on a page if you are concurrently running advertisements. So if you're also running ads, then you will see a lift on organic because it's pay to play, right? So Facebook is rewarding you for paying to play. If you are not running paid at this moment and you are just wanting to leverage some real estate inside of the third most visited website on earth, Facebook, then you want to use your personal profile, because on your personal profile, there are lots of different ways to, like Gavin said, become omnipresent. I actually developed something called the Omnipresence formula for Facebook, and it literally, you can dominate the feeds. I mean, it's how I got my, started getting known is just dominating the algorithm. And what it allows you to do I always advocate playing like algorithm games? Not really. But what it allows you to do is gain, people see you, they notice you, and now you can establish relationship, because relationship always trumps algorithm, always. But it gives you the opportunity to connect with more people and establish more relationships, which really should be your end game. So many people always say, they have a marketing problem. They don't. They have a relationship problem, right? They're not connecting and serving and creating those relationships that are going to outlast any algorithm changes, right? So
you're talking my language.
I love it. It's good.
Yeah, it's, we always say that, when people come into our coaching programs and things, funnels and ads are not, that's not where the success comes from. The success comes from your ability to build trust.
Amen.
We use the funnels and we use the ads as a tool to build
trust. Mechanisms. There's just tools, absolutely. But if there's nothing behind the tools, if there's no actual value, if there's no trust, respect, connection, relationship, all of those things, then it's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking personal profiles here. And I know something that comes up a lot is, I don't want to use my personal profile. Like, I've got my friends and my family on there. So Alex, let's say somebody comes with that.
So common.
Yeah, they come with that objection. How do they get started in turning their Facebook profile from something that has probably just been a personal thing into something that can build an audience, start to like you say, throw out hooks and they can get feedback? How can they start using it as a business tool? Where would you start?
So the best thing to do is really, I would take the opportunity. If you're, I mean, the first question is this: how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Right? That's really the question. How bad do you want it? Do you really care what Jimmy from high school thinks? Do you really care what Aunt Susie and Uncle Bob think? Enough to let it stop you from your why, your big, hairy, audacious goal, your dream. If that's the case, probably in the wrong business. Just gonna be honest. Like, if you're gonna let them determine your fate and determine the things you will and won't do, we got bigger problems that we need to deal with mindset wise, right? That's number one. Number two, if you want it badly enough and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna leverage my profile because I know that what it allows me to do is stand in one of the most trafficked streams on earth with a big net and just like gather fish and just pull them all into me. If you're excited about that and you're like, yeah, let's do it, then your best bet is literally start talking to Aunt Susie and Uncle Bob and everybody. Say, hey guys, like on your profile, post it. Hey guys, I've just decided I'm going to be doing something new, something different. I'm in a coaching program. Whatever it is. And I'm going to be leveraging my Facebook profile in a slightly different way. So you might start to see business related posts from me when I know all I've posted before is cat videos or whatever, you know what I mean? Or I posted what I was having for lunch. So you're going to start seeing new content from me. If you don't want to see that new content, cool, no problem. I'm not offended. You can like unfollow me or block me or whatever you want to do. Like, it's cool. I'm down. Like, but I'm going to be leveraging it this way. Just come out and say it. Just let them know, right? Like, this is about to go down, y'all. And then really go ahead, give them a little time to react and respond and whatever. Start warming it up with a little bit of like, hey, this is documentation of the journey, right? Just start documenting the journey. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm doing. Like, and it's really for nobody other in the beginning, just than yourself. Just start getting that practice of posting about it. Get the jitters out. Start, numbing Aunt Susie and Uncle Bob to the fact that you're posting business. They're going to get used to it, right? They'll tune out or they won't. Maybe they'll be interested. But either way, the posts aren't for them. So you then want to turn your Facebook profile into something we call a profile funnel, which is in essence, you guys know about funnels, right? So you're going to use that real estate on the top, right? Instead of the pictures of you and your buddies scuba diving, make sure you're using that as an actual call to action, an actual headline, right? Like, hey, target audience, want awesome benefit without terrible pain point? Click here, right? Like, that is your head of funnel. That is your top of funnel, your big headline. That's your opportunity to grab your target audience by the collar, pull them into your world. So that's number one. You're going to want to use that in that way. You'll use something like a faux click here button or join now button or learn more button, something like that. I'm sure you guys have seen those. And, inside of the photo description, you'll give them the what's in it for me, nice big benefits of why they should actually click now, join now, whatever your call to action was, and then give them somewhere to go. If it's a webinar you want them to watch, give them the webinar registration link. If it's a free call you want them to book a free strategy call with you, cool, give them your Calendly link. If it's your Facebook group you want them to join, give them the link to join your group. Whatever your objective is, whatever your top of funnel lead gen mechanism is, you should be directing traffic there, right? And then you're leveraging that little intro kind of as a bio. You're letting people know who you are, what you do, for whom you do it, and why it's so magical and what the benefit is for them. And, then what you want to do is you want to kind of clean up that sidebar. Don't have 37 different, high schools and colleges and girlfriends and cats and all the things that you did and where you've worked and where you volunteered, because that's a leaky funnel. Those are lots of opportunities to leave, and you don't want people to leave. The funnel 101 is, there's only 3 things somebody should be able to do at your page: buy, bookmark, or leave. That's it. Buy, bookmark, or leave. So you want to have the same experience on your profile funnel. They're buying, meaning opting in, doing the thing you're asking them to do. That's the buy. Bookmark, they're coming back. They're like, oh, this dude's cool, coming back for later. Or they're like, peace out. This doesn't apply to me. Cool. You filter. That's your filtration system, right? But you certainly don't want to be like, I went to the University of Wisconsin. They're going to click on it and be like, oh, I remember the last time I was in Wisconsin. That's amazing. Guess what happened? You lost them. They fell out of your funnel, right? So don't have a leaky funnel. So that's sort of how you would begin this process. And then what ends up happening is you stand for something in the marketplace. People start to see you as that thing, right? Right now, my profile, it's all about email marketing. So what ends up happening, people start to associate me with email marketing, right? I'm sure, Gavin, I haven't studied your profile, but I'm sure it has something to do with what you're up to, right? Like that's what we do. We stand and we leverage that real estate on our profiles, and we end up, I end up pulling more leads than that kind of makes people sick when they see how many leads come into my life and into my world via Facebook. How do you make them come in? You go play in related groups. Where do your prospects hang out? Are you a realtor in Miami? Go hang out in home buying groups that are related in South Florida. Cool. Guess what ends up happening? You're in there providing value. You're answering questions. You're supporting, when a buyer has a question, they're a first-time home buyer, they don't know what to do. You're walking them through what they need to do. They're like, gosh, this guy's so helpful. I wonder who this is. This is amazing. Click on your profile. Boom. Now they're in your world. Boo. You just sucked them in through your funnel. You just got a free lead, right? You might become their agent. So this is how this game works organically. Once you set up that profile funnel, you're active on your personal profile, providing value, and you're active out in related associated groups where your target audience, hangs out so that they can begin checking you out. We're curious beings. They'll come to your profile. Don't worry. They'll come. So that's how it works.
I love this, this idea of when you first start to do this. And you go out and you tell Aunt Susie and Uncle Jimmy that your things are going to change a little bit. It reminds me of so when I Facebook page, I used to create a lot of outdoor Scottish-based content. So I'd go hiking at the weekends and I'd film it. And I built this like really big audience. We were getting like 50,000 views a week organically on average.
Nice.
And it got to this point where I was like, hold on a minute. These guys aren't buying anything. I'm attracting like American grannies that love Scotland. And not people that wanted to buy from me. So I call my most unsuccessful, successful ad campaign.
I love
which
it.
was an unlike campaign.
Yeah.
Target everybody who followed my page saying, by the way, things are going to change here. So please unlike my page if you're not interested in the business.
Exactly. Content. It's like sending out an email, like pushing people to unsub. I mean, it's like, hi, we're going to be doing this now. So if you're not down, unsubscribe button is below. Because what's actually happening, they're killing your engagement. They're killing your reach. It's all connected to the algorithm. So if you've got a ratio of people, and let's pretend, so you've got 5,000 friends, right? They're all packed out. You got all 5,000. If 4,000 of your friends do not engage with your content and only 1,000 engage, you've got a problem because you've got a 4-to-1 ratio of unengagement versus engagement. You've got to work very hard to get that ratio changed, right? You need to have more engaged, friends on your profile than you have unengaged. The same way with your email list, the same way on your business page. The lessons are universal, slightly different, mechanics, but same lesson.
So let's talk about that then a little bit, because I love this. I love the idea of going out into Facebook groups and engaging people coming back to you. But when it comes to accepting friends and having friends on Facebook, obviously the limit's 5,000 people, and we want to have that positive ratio. If people aren't engaging, what's your thoughts there? Do you unfriend them and then add new people, or do you unfriend them and do you just hope that more people come in? Do you have like a system or process on that?
We do have a process. Yeah. So, and I will tell you, currently in my business, things are slightly changing simply because, Facebook organic marketing is becoming, it was for me for almost 18 months, my primary sole singular way of doing lead gen. When something is your primary sole singular way of doing lead gen, you're all in. I mean, we had like all kinds of crazy systems around it. I had VAs who were like, running software, flushing friends from my account that didn't, engage after a 60-day period. And then going into groups, adding people who met certain criteria. So we'd map out criteria of my ideal customer avatar. Who is my ideal customer avatar? So we'd map that out really, really clearly. And then, this is against terms of service, y'all, just saying it. But I had a VA inside of my account, and she would spend all day sort of hunting ideal client avatars and adding them as friends from very specific Facebook groups, right? So we had a very targeted campaign to curate, it's curation, really curating 5,000 warm, engaged leads, right? And some of the criteria for the people that we were added, they had to have commented in the group. They had to have engaged in the group. Why? Because I want hyper engagers. I'm not interested in people who sit on the sidelines and lurkers. The more engaged my friends list, the more my content gets spread. So I have to be very intentional about curating an engaged friends list. So yes, there was a system. There a lot of thought went into this. We use software like Friend Filter to, rinse out the friends who were not engaging. And obviously there's some people you whitelist, like when Russell Brunson's your friend, you don't rinse him, whether he comments or not. You just leave them, right? So things like that. But yeah, I mean, there was a system, and because it's become less of my primary source of lead gen, we're doing some other lead gen. We're not as obsessive as we were for a good long time, but we do still have some parameters in place and things like that. And we do still use software to rinse friends. I think I'm getting close to my 5,000 limit right now, so it's probably we're due for another rinse pretty soon. And it's a great way to, while Facebook says, okay, you've only got this 5,000 friends limit. Look, if every 30 to 60 days you're rinsing out 3,500 people who aren't engaging, that's another 3,500 spots, right? Like you can, I don't know about you, but like you'd have to your warm lead pool. If you've got a warm lead pool of 5,000 people and you're selling high ticket or you're doing whatever, you're doing pretty well. Like it takes a while to exhaust that, particularly if you've got like a Facebook group, you're serving people, these people, you've got outreach processes in place for people inside of your group or inside of your friends list. It's a powerful thing. Organic marketing. Yeah.
I think what's real about this is you are, and I think this is a mindset shift for a lot of people, is you're using your personal profile as an actual, like you would an actual business tool.
Yeah, I use it as a business tool. Now, let me make a comment on that. A lot of people are like, man, you can't have your personal profile as a business. I use it as a business, a lead attraction mechanism, we'll say, a lead attraction tool, a lead magnetizing tool. I don't promote. It's not like, hey, let's exchange money right here and now on this platform. Let's do a deal right here on my business, that sort of thing. It's taken into Messenger. It's taken into a Facebook group. It's taken off platform. It's whatever. So I'm letting them know who I am, what I offer, etc. I also talk plenty of personal stuff on my profile, and that's the key. If it's solely business, Facebook can make a case that you're using it as a business and you got to go, right? Like you're violating terms of service. If you're simply presenting a whole picture of your whole person, i.e., I'm a business person, this is what I do, but I'm also Alex over here, human, and this is how I feel and what I think and what I had for lunch and where I traveled and all the things, you're good. You're good because you're not using it as a business. You're using it as a whole person.
Exactly. And let's be real, as entrepreneurs, our business, our work is our life. Let's be honest. Right?
Let's be honest, right? If we didn't love what we did, like it wouldn't be, but it doesn't feel like work. To most entrepreneurs I know, once you hit your groove, like, this is what we were born to do. We love this stuff. We could talk about this stuff all the time. They don't have to pay us. We just love it, right?
Absolutely. We had Alex Sharfin on the show a few episodes ago.
Love him.
And yeah, some of the stuff that he was talking about was just amazing in that, we are different. We're wired different, and we need to embrace that.
We are. He calls us evolutionary hunters, and we are absolutely wired differently. We're a totally different breed. I completely believe that. I wrote an email and a post about this a while back. It's like, I think it was called "Why Normal People Frustrate Entrepreneurs." It's because we don't think in the same way. We don't approach things in the same way. We are wired differently. Let's acknowledge that. We are the weirdos of the world that Steve Jobs was talking about, but it's because of us weirdos that amazing things happen, right? I mean, it's just powerful. So it's exciting.
It's amazing. And when you realize that and you accept that, you're like, yeah, power to us.
Power to the weirdos. Yeah. Go nerds. Love it.
Totally. Amazing. So what I'm really interested about this is, like you said, we're using your Facebook profile as a tool and we're treating it like we would treat any other business tool and not
An
treating it
opt-in
as,
funnel. That's all it is.
exactly. And we're not treating it as like, oh, I'm sharing my eggs that I had on my toast this morning, which actually you might want to share.
You can, right? I mean, I shared that I'm moving internationally. I share like funny things. Sometimes I share the book I'm reading. I'll share, somewhere I'm traveling or what, because it's important that your people know you. But you're right that 65 to 75% of the time, I'm connecting with my audience. Actually, 100% of the time I'm connecting with my audience. Let's be honest. 100% of the time. It just depends how and where and, yeah.
Different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so in a typical email funnel, somebody opts in, they then tend to go through what we call a soap opera sequence where they get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And with a Facebook profile, then it's slightly different because somebody's coming in, they're adding you as a friend, or you're adding them, or they're adding you as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have some sort of way to warm people up, or do you just let them come in and see your content where it's currently at?
So I've tested different things. And in essence, it used to be really structured in my business. It used to be like anytime anybody friended me, we did an outreach thing. Hey, how you like, just connecting on a personal level. Cool. Tell me. And it was really all about them. The first few messages were all about them. Like, hey, thanks so much for the request. Tell me more about who you are. I see you live in Vancouver. Vancouver is one of my favorite cities in the Northern Hemisphere. Oh my gosh. Do you know this restaurant? It was my favorite restaurant when I was there for a week. Like, just human connection. Like that's number one, right? If that's the number one thing I could give people. So, there was zero business talk whatsoever for the first several exchanges. And the intention is always get them talking about themselves and make sure that you find a win for them before you ever anything, right? Ever say a word about you. So it'd be like, so what made you, reach out and and is there anything like I can support you with? I love being a connector. That's a great line. I'm like, I'm just a natural born connector. So like, who's your ideal client? I'd love to be on the lookout. When you tell people that you want to help them grow their business or you want to be on the lookout for their ideal client, they're like, oh my gosh, yeah. So they'll just spill the beans and they just want to tell you all the things like, oh, it's awesome. 9 times out of 10, guess what their follow-up question is? Who's your ideal client? How can I serve you? How can I help? It's the law of reciprocity, right? So now they want to know more about your business. Now they want to know more about who you're looking for as an ideal client. Maybe that's them. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's somebody they know, right? So then you can get into a conversation and talk about your stuff, but never, never, never before you have made an offer to help and serve them and made a real genuine effort to connect as a human before anything else. So that was a process that worked really, really well for us. It was a great lead source, both of referrals and just direct leads, people who wanted to know more about what we did. And then also you can just put out great content consistently without having that outreach process. And as people come into your world, whether they just randomly find you on Facebook or whether you're doing kind of adding campaigns in other groups or, attraction campaigns in other groups, you're just showing up a lot and people are just noticing and adding. Consistently putting out great content is probably the number one way to attract leads. Just consistently putting out amazing content that serves, content that, I like to talk about the triple V's, content that makes you visible as an expert. So it's visibility content. Number 2, it's valuable. So you're providing value to them. You're giving them an insight. You're giving them an aha, a lesson, something they can use, some sort of distinction or perspective that's new for them. So value. And then the third one is vulnerable, being yourself, being real, showing your flaws. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? Like, let them know that it's okay and you're not scared of your imperfections. So really focusing on those triple V's with your content has been, for me, a really powerful way to generate resonance and relationship with my audience. And you'll get people DMing you, oh my gosh, that post you just made. Oh God, I feel the same way. And and this, that. I mean, you cannot imagine the unsolicited DMs, that come in just from really great content. So great way to start a relationship, see if you can serve them, that kind of thing. And the last thing is to have calls to action on your profile. Whether it's a call to action at the end of your content, you should always have some form of a call to action just to train people to engage, right? If nothing else, you're giving the rat a pellet, right? The rat shows up and reads, and like you're asking them, I guess, for in some kind of action to then give them more engagement or more insight. So, hey, what do you guys think? They drop something and then you give them a love or a whatever, and you give them a comment, and now they feel connected to you in a deeper way because they had a personal interaction with you. I just think that using your profile in this way, the profound benefits that come from this in terms of being able to build a real and actual audience that loves you and will buy your things over and over and over again, versus staying small for Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Sally, like there's just no contest. There's no contest.
Yeah, who's paying your bills?
Right. Unless your aunt and uncle are supporting you, like deuces. Love you, but
I think the thing there that's really stand out and interesting to me is this idea that you're having these you're spending the time to reach out to people, connect with people on a personal level. And because you are doing that, when you then do post something on your feed, they are more likely to then go and engage.
It's crazy.
So, like if you're somebody that's posting that isn't getting engagement, I guess a question to ask yourself, first of all, is how much time am I spending building deeper relationships with the people?
Yeah. It's not a marketing problem, as we said before. It's a relationship problem every time. Every time. It is not a marketing problem. It's you're focused on what's in it for me and not what's in it for them. The minute you move out of what's in it for me and move into what's in it for them and how do I serve them, the entire dynamic changes. The entire dynamic changes.
Yeah, I love it. I think something that's intrigued me about your content is something I saw you wrote about how you craft a post, and I was like, that term crafting is interesting. And I saw that you craft all of your posts in a Google Doc.
I do.
You post them onto Facebook.
Yeah.
So I want to know, first of all, why do you do that? And also, when you are crafting a post, do you have a structure to it? And the reason I asked this question is because we had an amazing person on the show recently, a lady called Brittany Bailey. She wrote, she used to write emails for ClickFunnels, and she wrote some emails for me for a recent launch, and she's amazing. And she's got what she calls the dessert first method, which is she starts with the call to action. She then draws a hook from that call to action and then fills out the middle with
I love it.
The story part.
So good.
So I want to know, first of all, why do you write in a Google Doc as opposed to writing on Facebook? And then do you have a structure that you follow when you're writing something?
Yeah. So such good questions. Number one, why? Just lack of distraction, right? If you're trying to craft a post that is intentional, that maybe following a sequence or a structure or formula, constant interruption by way of DMs or notifications or funny cat videos or whatever the thing, not the greatest writing or creation environment. So I like to create and craft inside of a distraction-free environment. So, and I add a lot of white space. I add emojis. I want to make it easy on the eye to read. So all of that for me happens before I ever fire up Facebook. Like Facebook is shut down, closed, etc. I actually use an amazing extension called blocksite.io, and I use blocksite.io for most of the day to completely block Facebook. I don't go on Facebook because I don't get any work done when I'm on Facebook, right? The funny thing is, and Alex Sharfin will attest to this, what got you here won't get you there. And the 10, 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week that I was spending on Facebook in the beginning of my business, building that goodwill, building those relationships, building that foundation is not what's going to help me scale. Just not. So while it was appropriate in the beginning, it is very much not appropriate for me to be on Facebook 10, 12 hours a day right now at this phase of my business. So that's why I actually I have a rule. I limit myself to 15 minutes a day now on Facebook. So things have changed a lot for me in terms of just my strategy. But number one, I create off of Facebook because it's a distraction-free creation zone, and I do better work when I'm less distracted. So that's number one. Number two, when I'm writing in Google Docs versus writing on Facebook, it takes on a gravitas. It takes on a different nature. It's not just a Facebook post. It could be a blog post. It could be there is a different level of seriousness that with which, and maybe it's just me that I approach the work with a different level of seriousness, but I do. So that's number two. Number three, is there a formula? Absolutely. In fact, I was laughing that you asked this question. I in fact, as a Facebook post, it's probably been a month now. So I don't know exactly what date, but about a month or so ago, I posted and the best part, the reason I posted this, I'll tell you the story behind this. When I write, I have a structure. I don't always follow every single piece of the structure because sometimes it's not appropriate. Sometimes there is no call to action other than, what do you think? Let me know, right? I'm not sending them to a link. There's no scarcity or urgency around, just an engagement post or a value post or something like that. So certain elements of this formula will be left out. But when I start writing a post, I have this formula. I copy paste it into my Google Doc, and I just write below each thing, right? So there's the headline, the hook. Then comes the rapport building statement. Then comes the what's in it for me, not what's in it for me, but what's in it for my client statement. Then comes the, here's the story part. Then there's the, knocking over limiting beliefs part. Then there's, I don't have it all memorized, but so I have this structure that I use, and how I start writing a post is I grab those several, 9 points or whatever it is, put them into my Google Doc, and then it's plug and play. I just write it, pull those headers out when I'm done, create transition statements between each section, post is done, right? So it is very formulaic, as is all direct response copy, as is all, copy's formulaic for a reason. It works. We're very simple animals. We operate at a very similar psychology. And when you know this and can leverage formulas that work, the copy just works. So what I did the other day was I sat down to write a post, had my little headers, and I was like, I just don't have it in me right now. I didn't have it in me. I just didn't have it in me. I was just like, I was tired. I'd had a rough day, whatever. And I said, you know what? Watch this. Copied my little formula. I went into Facebook, dropped it in, threw some emojis next to each line. That kind of indicated what it was. And I just said, the anatomy of a winning launch post. I dropped that. And that is my formula. That's the formula I use more or less with every post, obviously removing the parts that are inappropriate for that particular post if they're not appropriate. But yes, I do follow a structure. It's a structure that I learned from watching and studying copy, because we copywriters are weird. We watch it and study other people's copy. But so Alex Moscow does a very good job with organic copy on his Facebook posts. So I've watched and studied him a lot. I've watched and studied Sarah Tempty a lot. I've watched and studied Andrew Cruzy a lot. There's several, Franco Urbaez, there's several individuals out there in my sphere of influence who I've watched and who just crush with organic marketing, and their copy is the reason. So I've studied their formulas, their structures, and kind of reduced a formula for myself from those bits of copy.
That's awesome. I love the idea of taking the formula and studying what is working for people already, which is what we're all about emulating. Alex, I am going to interrupt proceedings. It's time for us to play a game.
Let's play. I love games.
It's time for the game round. It's like the Highland Games, but on a podcast.
So the rules are simple. I have 10 cards here, which have 10 different statements on them. And something, I have no idea what the statements will be, but it'll be something like, name 3 types of ice cream.
Okay.
The name of the game is the 5-second rule.
Oh my God.
You have 5 seconds to answer whatever we have here.
Okay, so no thinking, just shouting out. All right.
Yeah. So to give you some examples of results, Alex Sharfin got 9 out of 10.
Nice. Of course he did.
Yeah, the last person got 7 or 8, I think. So we're actually, this season of the show, people are doing really well.
Okay. No pressure. No pressure at all.
This is where we really get to know Alex.
Yeah.
Elliot.
How
Okay,
does she think on her feet is the question. We don't know. We'll find out.
let's do this. So name 3 excuses for not doing homework.
Okay, dog ate my homework, cat ate my homework, and I lost it.
Perfect. That is the perfect start.
Okay.
Name 3 types of soup.
Okay, gazpacho, chicken noodle, and minestrone.
Oh, you are on fire. That's 3 seconds. Oh, this is a tough one. Name 3 towns or cities in France.
Oh my God, Marseille, Paris, and Toulouse.
Wow. 2 seconds. Name 3 items of baby equipment.
Okay, baby powder, baby wipes, and diapers.
Wow, Alex, you're on fire here. Name 3 international airports.
Okay, Barcelona, El Prat. We have Dusseldorf,
Oh,
and
just in time. Was that 3?
that was not 3. That was 2.
Oh,
I
no.
screwed up. Okay, got it.
Name 3 things you might find. Sorry, let me start again. Name 3 things you might find in the back garden.
Okay, tomatoes, flowers, and grass. Random. I have no idea. That was good. All right.
Name 3 items of office stationery.
Office stationery. Okay, so envelopes, paper, and a pen.
Nice. Name 3 places you might find spiders.
Oh my God. Windowsill, door frame, and basement.
Lovely. Name 3 festivals.
Oh shit. I'm out. I don't know. I'm thinking of them now, but I'm way out of time.
Last one is name 3 words that rhyme with two. T-O-O.
Shoe, few, moo.
Okay. There we go. 8 out of 10.
Hey, all right. I'm coming for you, Sharfin.
That is a good score. Well played.
I love it.
Nicely
Thank
done.
you. It was fun.
We're going to wrap things up now. We have the rapid fire round.
Love
Time
it.
for the rapid fire round. 10 questions, 10 answers, no context. Are you ready?
This is great. I love this. I had no idea this was coming. This is so good. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you 10 questions and
Okay.
you give me an answer, but you cannot give me context unless I ask, of course. for
Okay.
context. So first of all, is your favorite book? What's your favorite book?
Oh, The Obstacle is the Way.
Oh, nice one. Ryan Holiday.
Yeah.
Favorite word?
Snickerdoodle.
I was not expecting that, but that's a brilliant word.
It's a brilliant word, isn't it? And there's a story around it, but I can't give it, so it's cool.
What is your most hated food?
Oh God, goulash.
What? Oh, I don't even know what goulash is.
Hungarian goulash. It's nasty. I can't.
Doesn't really sound appealing. I'm not going to lie. What is your biggest pet peeve, either business or personal?
Oh my God. Okay. When people chew really loudly, I got a thing with, I can't.
So you're definitely not into ASMR then.
No can do.
What was your dream job as a child?
Dream job as a child. I wanted to be an archaeologist. That
Oh,
was my
that's
dream job
cool.
as a child. Yeah.
That's cool. What's your favorite music genre?
Oh my God. I have so many. This is really hard. Probably electronic.
Nice.
If I had to, yeah.
Cool. What's your drink of choice?
Oh God, it's so boring. Like as an alcoholic, are we going out? Are we going there?
Any drink.
Any drink. Okay, drink of choice. Any drink. Water. 100% water. Yeah.
I find that more people say water than I would have expected.
Yeah. It's pretty vital.
Yeah. Are you a morning or night person?
Morning.
Would you rather cuddle a baby panda or a baby penguin?
Ooh, panda. Snugglier. Yeah.
And finally, Alex, what is one parting piece of advice you'd like to give everybody that's listening?
Oh man. One parting piece of advice. Do you. Don't do what the industry expects of you. Don't do what I'm even going to be sacrilegious here and say necessarily what like all the gurus tell you to do. Don't chase like really be still and listen to what you want and pursue that with all your heart. The things that make you happy. You know, I found that, and I'll finish on this. Part of the reason that I shifted my business from being on Facebook all the time and focusing on Facebook organic marketing, and I shifted it to email marketing was it just fit my personality and where I was in my life better. I am at a quieter, more contemplative place in my life. So being able to set up email funnels that work 24/7, 365 and don't require me to be the dancing monkey on Facebook all the time, that fits me more. So I would say, figure out what you want early spend the time and pursue that with all your heart.
That is amazing. And that is just a fantastic way to end the show. So thank you for that. Alex, where can everybody find you, see you, hear you, and take in all of the amazing stuff that you do?
Thank you. So 2 places really. If you can come on over to my website, hang out, see what we do. It's alexselliot.com. You can come on over there. You can join my email list there if you like. And if you're not much of an email person, then come join my Facebook group. We hang out in there as well. It is called Profit Finders. You can just Google, or not Google it, go on Facebook and have a look, and you'll see my happy face in the cover there. Profit Finders is the name of that group. So either way, come on and hang out with us.
Go and do it, folks, because, and take this from me, Alex is one of those people that everything she writes or posts, I read it, I consume it. And as somebody who doesn't spend a huge amount of time scrolling and browsing on social media, that says something. So go and check out Alex's stuff.
Thank you.
Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Folks, if you're listening and you want to learn more about Alex and some of the things that we've spoken about, you can head over to mrgavinbell.com/podcast, and we'll have links to all of Alex's amazing, fun stuff over there. And as always, if you enjoyed it, screenshot your phone, tag us on Instagram, tag us on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want to be, and let us know what was the biggest takeaway from today.
Very cool.
Once again, Alex, thank you so much.
What a pleasure. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys.
It's been fun. Awesome. Podcast is done. We have the people that are watching live have been loving this as well.
Hey, live people, what's up? I have no idea who's here live, but so excited you were here with us. Thank you.
Gerald's been here. He says, "Be still, great principle." Anna has asked a few questions. So Anna, we'll get to those after, just because I am wary of timing right now.
Always one.
But thank you so much for tuning in live, folks. I'll see you next week, as always. Thank you again.
Bye, guys.